Thank you for having me.
And, of course, your art. You've got a large body of art.
Yes, just about over 200 pieces.
200 pieces, and you have been painting for quite a while, or within a short period of time?
Well, actual painting in a professional manner since about 1997. And before that, I was always kind of the doodling kid in class, and took a mechanical drawing course in junior high, and kind of gave that up, and took your general art course, art ed course in high school, where you do a quarter of sculpture, a quarter of drawing, quarter of painting, and then some art history, but no formal training. I was pretty much self-taught.
So 10 years ago, you started, and did you see yourself catapulting, snowball effect, progressively getting more and more advanced, or was it very slow-moving in the beginning for you?
Well, I think, Paula, at first it was pretty slow-moving, because since not having any formal training, I was pretty much doing a lot of experimenting at first, just understanding the technical side to it and the concepts behind it. But once I kind of got that technical side down, it did kind of snowball. And once I really started producing work, more so when I actually moved to California. I was originally from Florida for 13 years before this. But when I came out to California, I really kind of got the ball rolling. And once, you know, as an artist, you kind of get that feeling. And
how long have you been here in California?
Since 1999.
Since 99?
Yeah, since
so
99.
Not too long after you started painting, or the different forms of art, as you said, you moved right out here.
Yeah, I came out here.
Of course, I would like our viewers to see one of the first pieces.
Sure.
And the piece, I would think that it's best that you explain it to our viewers. They are large pieces, are they not, that we have?
Most of the work I do is at least 24 inches on the smallest side. Most of the time they're a lot larger than that. The piece you're looking at here is called The Convergent Zone, and this was a commission piece I did for a client. And I'm big on sunsets, as you can probably tell from some of the work that's sitting behind us here, but I wanted to really have an impact of an area where a lot of weather is happening in the evening. If you can see the trees, there's a heavy wind blowing, and in the ocean it kind of gives that tropical feeling when in the evening time when that thunderstorm is moving in. And I just like that kind of vibrant color and a lot of action in my work.
And that's pretty much you're getting a horizontal plane off of that. How large was that last piece?
That piece was about 6 feet wide by about 3 feet tall. So
yes.
Pretty large, yeah.
And the length of time it takes you to paint the painting that we just saw, is it a lengthy process?
Well, it varies. Depending on the subject matter and what kind of detail I'm putting into it, it really varies. Some pieces I can do in a weekend's time, working day and into the night, but others will take me years to complete, working on it a little bit at a time and then leaving it alone for a while and then coming back to it, in a different spot. And
is it oil, acrylics, mixture?
Mostly acrylics. Some things I do are mixed media, like the pieces here sitting behind us. They include shellac and wood stain. But most of the time, the painting medium is acrylic. I like working with acrylic the best.
Yes, and do you paint on other materials other than wood?
Yeah, the first piece you actually just saw was on canvas.
Canvas.
But I do enjoy wood a little bit more. You can be a little bit more rough with it and use a lot of different things on it. You can dig into it, sand it, stain it with different things, and just be a little bit more rough with it. I like to be physical with the work.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and see some of your works of art.
This is a found wood sculpture. I did a series on found wood sculptures where I tried to tie in, I'm a surfer, and so I tried to tie in the personalities that waves have with the personalities of people. And this one here, it's a little hard to see on the video, but on the bottom right-hand corner I have some words listed that are personality type words or emotion words that when I collect these found wood, pieces of wood from the beach all up and down the California coastline in Mexico, Costa Rica, all over the world where I gather them. I try and create a sense of a wave with the three-dimensional wood coming off of the wood paneling there, and then I paint a face that kind of goes along with the wood. You can see I have an ice cube dripping up there in the corner, and all this wood was found in the Central California region where the water's a little bit colder. So
Now, you grew up in Florida. What part of Florida? On which coast?
The East Coast, Northeast Florida, on a small island called Amelia Island. I lived there since I was 13 before I moved to California. And actually before that I was from the Puget Sound area in Washington State. So I've kind of done the three corners thing so far. Yeah.
It's like a triangle.
Yeah, it is.
What we have is a large triangle of the United States on a seacoast.
Yes, correct.
And
yeah.
that's what your work reflects.
Yeah, a lot
of
of water.
On that last piece, I wish that you had done a photograph from the side.
Oh, yeah.
So that we could see that
Yeah, it
3D
sticks off
effect.
about almost 10 or 12 inches at its furthest point. It sticks off of the board about 12 inches.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And are those pieces sold? Are they still in your
Some have been
possession?
sold, but I do have a few of those still available as well. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Now, the next piece that we are going to be diving into,
Sure.
it's much more aesthetic, almost feminine-like.
It is.
As opposed to the last two, which were very masculine.
Yeah, very powerful.
And
this was a little bit lighter. This is actually a watercolor piece on paper that I did.
Watercolor, I was going to guess.
Yeah, I did a series called Hide and Seek, where I did this kind of earthreal flowing pieces, just kind of freehand ink drawings, and then colored it in with watercolor. And you can, if you get a good look at it, you can see some hidden images in there. I put animals. There's actually the profile of someone's face in that one, and I kind of leave it up to the viewer to figure out where exactly they're at. But that whole series had some hidden images in it.
Well, let's go on further. I see a lot of circular design going on with this, and that's what you said. You are really in tune to a circular figure, and
I think a lot of that's influenced with my ocean and water background. You know,
Yes.
a lot of the tubes are circular, and just it's more of a smooth, calming feeling
it's
when
a
you see a lot of
motion
circles.
sensation. And this is more of a subject matter which is personal.
This is a portrait I did of actually my brother and his daughter at my wedding. And I took it from a black and white photo, and I wanted to kind of convey her light and her energy. And you can see inside of her dress there's a couple of hidden animals. She really gets a giggle out of animals and stuff. So whenever I do portraits of people, even though they're not realistic, I try and put some of their personal attributes in there so the people can be reminded of those things.
Yes, I see a sense of human versus non-human, and you've got them colliding. And now this is an interesting piece, which is different from the last. Explain this, please.
This is a process called batiking, and it's where you take a piece of fabric and you use a specific kind of wax that crackles and kind of gives that those lines, those jagged random lines, and then you apply different dyes over the fabric over the course of a few days, and you have to dry it, and then once that's finished you take the wax back out of it, and it's completely random. You never know what you're going to get. I mean, you can guess on the colors, and when you mix reds and yellows, you know, you have the color theory going on, but really the final product is completely random, and that's why I love that so much.
And I see that bright red come through. It's an orangey red, like it's on fire. And now we have some pieces that we would like to show, because you are going to be going to Brazil.
Yes.
This is an exciting, seems like an exciting part of your life. You're going to South America soon, and we'd like to show those pieces quickly if we can, because we're running out of time.
Sure, no problem.
And right here.
This one actually is not one of the pieces that's headed to Brazil. This is going to be a cover to, I'm republishing a book that I published. And This is going to be the new cover image. It's on water pollution and water quality.
Okay.
And you can kind of see there the image of the surfer defending the ocean against oil and pollution, who's represented by the female
Well, if we can
form.
go forward then to some of the more recent pieces.
Sure.
Yes.
This one here was a large, it's about 8 feet long by about 2.5 feet tall. And it was a political piece I did on Michael Manley, who was the Prime Minister of Jamaica back in the late 60s. And it kind of tells how he was going to be the savior of Jamaica, and it didn't really work out that way.
Wow. And right here, this is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's,
what type of tree is that?
That's it's actually just a made-up tree. It's called the Tree of Life, and all of the leaves inside of it are all birds and different images of people that have come together to kind of make this tree in this savanna. I guess if you had to relate it to somewhere, it would be more like
so
Africa.
a southern-based.
Yes, yeah.
And I want to thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you.
Nathan Paul Gibbs is our artist showcase today. And if you want to know more about him, please check his space. And he'll be coming back with, I'm sure, lots of exciting stories about Brazil where he is exhibiting. And thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for having me,
TV.
Paula.
You're welcome.